your lack of hand washing and social distancing, it disturbs me. It disturbs me. Hey, all you bull pups and bull puppies. This is Mr. Williams here. Didn't know if you knew that with my mask and everything. I just wanted to kind of give you a little brief tutorial on where we're at with things. If it's okay, I'm just going to go ahead and keep this on for the remainder, if you can hear me, hopefully. So basically, where we're at, we kind of ended with the settlers, kind of Old West, and cowboys, stuff like that, right? And then our last kind of thing we talked about was the progressives. And really, what they're trying to do is kind of basically have a kind of a bigger government, more central government, and really they're trying to help social issues. Because as the railroad continues and we get this transcontinental railroad thing going, and we're going to start to see really farmers, right, with the invention of barbed wire and stuff like that, really we're going to start to see people moving more into cities. We're going to start to develop what's called urbanization. So urbanizing something, an urban area is a city area, whereas a rural area, like, where most of us are living around southeast Kansas and Caney, right, that's more rural, and that's more of like a farmland. Okay, but as we go into the 1900s, we're starting to see more industrialization, so the utilization of machines and factories. And so that's what's leading us into what you're going to start reading now, which is the Gilded Age. Okay? It's a term actually developed by Mark Twain. Gilded means kind of like a golden age. All right? And that's from the end of the Civil War up into the early 1900s. Okay? And so really, a big factor is because of the railroad, connecting people, connecting goods and services, connecting communication, and that's one of the main factors that's leading to this Gilded Age. Within that, though, farmers really are going to start to feel the pressure of the railroads. They're going to get charged, for shipping cattle and things like that. And that's where we come up with the Granger Movement, right? Basically, the Granger Movement was trying to protect farmers from really big rates or huge rates from the railroad, from having to ship those, from also the railroad taking their land. And so this is one of the social issues that comes out during this time, the Granger Movement, okay? Because of this, the Interstate Commerce Commission is developed, and basically it's a protection for people in terms of shipping and railroad rates at this time. But again, it's kind of more a government intervention. And we're going to see government, kind of big government, the federal government stepping in more as opposed to state governments, okay? And so as industrialization continues, as urbanization, people moving to cities, we start to see production, okay, really start to develop. So there's really three factors of production: land, labor, and capital, okay? Land is not just real estate, as this says here. It's all the resources, such as mined materials, native plants, animals, everything that you need to make factories and move things, right? Labor, okay? You need people to work, people to do things. people to produce those goods. So everything that's involved in labor with the people. And then capital, not just money, but mostly, we're talking about you need money to buy these goods and services, to ship these goods and services, okay? Everything that helps produce wealth. So these things really start to build up, and really people start to, become wealthier as a result of this. And this is where you guys are going to kind of look in this a little bit more in terms of what we would call a robber baron or a captain of industry. Right, so really some key figures come out of this. These guys known as John D. Rockefeller, Cornelius Vanderbilt, Andrew Carnegie, J.P. Morgan. Okay, Rockefeller was mostly oil. He was an oil tycoon, meaning he got a bunch of money for oil production. Vanderbilt mostly got his money through the railroads. Carnegie, steel production. J.P. Morgan started out with the railroads and then was more kind of finances. Okay, so we look at this and we look at, like, for instance, millionaires today, and with this whole COVID virus thing going on, is it that these people who are in charge, is it about making money right now, or is it about protecting their workers? With these guys, as you read, maybe some of them it was more about, well, I'm just trying to make millions and millions of dollars on the backs of my workers. Or maybe we see with these guys, for instance, like Carnegie, by the end of his life, he gave out close to $200 billion of his own wealth. In fact, many libraries and museums and even some schools were built as a result of Carnegie's money, or what we call his philanthropy, meaning giving his money away. In fact, the library here in Independence, was actually built using some of Carnegie's money that he gave away. So you guys are going to look into that a little bit more, and you're going to tell me, were they a robber baron, meaning basically they, just profited off the backs of their workers, or were they more a captain of industry? They really cared about their workers, and they were willing to do whatever they could to make sure everyone, contributed and did well. We also see during this time this idea that, is it about working hard, or is it about being smart, or is it kind of, just this idea that you can get ahead in life by just your effort? And so we call it social Darwinism, the survival of the fittest, okay? Whoever's willing to get out there and work, and whoever's smart enough to do it, they survive. Those that don't want to do it, they get left behind, okay? And so the rich kept getting richer, and the poor kept getting poorer as a result of all this. And then finally, in the Gilded Age, we're going to see more immigration, more immigrants coming to the country. And you guys are going to take a little bit of a look at that further down next week. You'll look at Ellis Island, for instance, and maybe one you haven't heard of, Angel Island, and we'll talk about immigration a little bit more. Okay? So I'm going to leave you with that. Good luck. God bless. Be safe out there.